Today we will be presenting on Slide into Google Slides. How can we use Google effectively? If you haven't checked in, please check in right now. This counts for your attendance. It just kind of helps us out on our end to mark you present already. I know in past sessions, if in case you didn't check in, that's okay. We do still take attendance in the meet, and we get an analytic report that tells us who was there. We still give you manual credit, but this automates it a bit more when you check in. So please go ahead and remotely check in up at the top of your LISD staff development, remotely check in. All right, Arabella, let's get started.
All right, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I know we're all headed towards the end of school. You're excited. We're not excited because we get to work all year round, but it's still a different environment in the summer. We start preparing for the next school year. So we thought, you know, what a better way than to kind of wrap up the school year with you all. And also, if you want to do during the summer, you could do what you learned or put into place what you've learned, and hopefully, you know, have something ready. If you're not already using it, have something ready for this for summer or for when school starts. So in today's agenda, we are going to be doing an overview of slides, Google Slides. We're going to spark up your slides, creative ways to use Google Slides, including formatting options, inserting video and audio, animation, word art, theme, and transitions. We're also going to be showing you how to use the PDFs as interactive classroom activities. Plus, we have a lot of resources at the end where we don't get to show you, you know, there's links where you can go in there yourself and new ideas. And if you mentioned the Bitmojis, yes, we have them in there. How to, you know, the slides you be seeing, or you saw our beginning slide where we have the backgrounds and all that. Google Slides is just so much more. It is like a PowerPoint, right? But it's just got so much more than just a presentation tool. So bear with us. There will be some things that you're familiar with, and that's a good thing. And hopefully, you know, once we get past what you're already familiar, there's something new for everybody in this presentation. So Terry, moving on.
Absolutely, yes. Lots of great creative ways to use Google Slides. As Arabella said, it's not only for presentations. You can make other type of activities such as posters, ebooks, comic strips, and it allows you to adjust page sizes. With PowerPoint, that's the limit right there. So there's a lot of similarities, but what this could do, it could be more of a canvas that allows you to go larger or smaller if you wanted to print out cards, or if you want to print out posters, you can do that. So you can make study guides, hyperdocs, drag and drop activities, digital posters, ebooks, and comic strips, and much more. We even make Google headers with it, Google Classroom headers. You can use existing PowerPoints and import them. Some features may be lost, but then you can adjust the slides to fit the fonts and add more things than you have inside of your PowerPoint. There is some differences, and that's why it loses some of its features, but there's, you know, you could just adjust it without any problem. Down at the bottom there, we have a slides cheat sheet, and basically it has little infographics of labels of what's inside of Google Slides, if in case there's something we didn't cover, or if in case you wanted to know more about it. It's straight from Google themselves, and it goes through all the process of what, actually, let me click on it. It goes through all the steps that are what's inside of Google Slides. It's a cheat sheet. So if you come in there, you can see that they have like infographics and labels. You have your getting started. You have different things that you can take a look at. Over on the right-hand side, it says that they have some slides, beginner tips, intermediate tips, and advanced tips. So that's a good one. We just put it on there because we thought you could pick up a few ideas from there in case we didn't cover something. You can just kind of study that and become more familiar with it. So we're super excited to, again, present on Google Slides and show you different tricks and tips in there. Ooh, I saw my template kind of I'm looking on the, if you see me moving to the side, it's because I'm also looking at my presentation. There's a slight delay, but I think it's very helpful to see where I'm at so I can be reading at the correct pace. So anyways, so you see looking to the side, that's the reason why. Okay, so choosing something from a blank template, you can do that, or there's actually a gallery. Anytime you open up slides and you open this, you launch it from the App Store or from the little waffle, you will see that you can start from scratch, or you can go ahead and go into recent ones that you have done, or the template gallery. Now, over at the bottom, I've listed 2 great sites for free templates that are available. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with them, but they already have presentation games set up for you guys. They already have lots of things, lots of templates for different ideas, even choice boards. You just go in there and you can go ahead and see and start setting your stuff up. There's a lot of creative templates that people have created them, and they put them in there, and they're for PowerPoint and Google Slides, but you can always just download the slide version of it. But you can find them by color. If you look at the menu at the top, there's things that are by color and by theme as well, and even inspiration. If you want to give it more of that kind of setting, you can do that. Another one that we listed for you guys was Slidesmania. That's another awesome site, and I like that one because that one has a lot of super creative things like for education. If you search, like this one's a challenge board. I really, really like this one a lot. It's one of my favorites. I really enjoy Slidesmania a lot better. So this one right here, it's a choice board also, and they made it look like they were going to the movies, and they came in with tickets. And you could just add your movie or your video to it and make the learning experience so much funner. So Slidesmania is pretty awesome, and Slides Carnival. There are other websites out there, but those are our 2 favorite. And just know that you can go in there. And whenever you're using it, and I'll showcase it later, whenever you've used something prior and you start blank, you can always import that recent presentation theme or something that you've used previously, and you can import it to your blank slate, or at any point you can, and I'll show you all how to do that. Okay, moving on to the layout of Google Slide. Over on the right hand, sometimes you see these little icons on some of the Google apps, and they basically come out in Docs as well, and in Slides, and I can't remember if they come out, or if they come out in Sites. They do come out in Google Sites as well when you make websites. So you can, whenever you have a product, you can schedule it in the calendar, and it kind of adds it to the calendar as an attachment, and I'll show you all that in a minute. It also integrates with Google Keep. Google Keep is a note-keeping system. I've used it before, where those notes are created as flashcards for the kids, and I outline, for example, their research paper. And so I have little note cards for them that I create in Google Keep, and then I bring them in and integrate them so that they can start working on their presentation. There's also task reminders. Task reminders means that you assign things to people to work on, and so it just, or yourself, you make yourself a little task reminder, and it reminds you, don't forget to insert this on your Google slide. So we'll look at that in a little bit, how those things integrate. And in a while, I'll switch over to Escape so that you can see that. I'll talk a few slides, and then I'll switch out so that you can see some of the features that we talk about. When you are in present mode and you go ahead and present, someone asked us one time, was the little flying, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to press that one. Hang on, I'm sorry. One moment, because it takes a bit before it kind of, okay. Down over at the bottom, so you see this bar that's up here at the top, but at the bottom, you also have this actual bar. So in there, you can move from slide to slide, and it'll disappear on you. But when you hover around it, you can move slide to slide if you want to skip over to another slide and quickly talk about something and make reference to something. You can do that with that bar. There's a Q&A section. It's pretty neat to use, but we'll cover it on another presentation. It's a little bit more advanced because it makes a website that they have to go to do Q&A. But we'll talk about that in another one. Notes as well. Pointer, it's pretty nice to use because it kind of helps you have the students follow with that pointer. Some people have asked us, is that an extension? And no, it's not an extension. It's actually a part of slides itself. And when you go to present, you click on the pointer. Closed caption allows you to have it come out on the screen, whatever it is that you are saying. Great for teachers or people who may be audio impaired. So you can use that for that reason. And you just click it and click it off to turn it on and off, to toggle. Another one that I wanted to showcase was the full screen, or exiting from the full screen, that other button that's kind of like right there. And then, of course, it's the exit. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of a delay. Then, of course, it's the exit that you can see. So real quick, when you press present, just hover over at the bottom, and this bar will come out, and it will allow you to move the slides from slide to slide and get those features on there as well. The next one we'll be presenting on is word animation and word art. How is it that word art works within Google Slides? And it's very basic. It's the same as PowerPoint. The only thing is you get this little label where you type in the word. And within word art, you can change out the font and recolor objects and animate things. And I think at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and just show you, because it's harder to explain and describe just by reading it. I'll just show you the type of animations you can do and the coloring of the text that you can do. So let me escape here.
And the difference, while Terry gets ready, is between Microsoft and Google. Microsoft, we love using it. PowerPoint was our favorite. I know it was for me. But Microsoft was geared more towards the business, than education. And so now when we started using Google, we started finding out that it's more user-friendly. And I know I'm more comfortable with it because it's user-friendly. And now we're finding that we can do so much more. If you notice Terry's cursor, we're able to see it much more easier because she's using an extension. And that one we introduced some time ago in one of our tech talks, and that's a custom cursor. Just a little tip there if you think you might be able to use it when you're doing your presentations.
Yes, it allows you to change it out. That's another one they asked, okay, what was that? How did you get that happy face? They're so much fun. I mean, it makes it so much more interactive when you're presenting to your kids and you have these little cursors that might go with the theme that you are doing. So tons of great tips for you guys. And we try to leave out extensions and those resources, and as well as YouTube videos on how to do these different techniques that we might be teaching. So just really quick, I'm gonna go back a little bit, and then Arabella will begin to present on word animation and word art and all of that, okay? So let me go back. We were talking about how the calendar and Google Keep and the task are integrated. So I'm just gonna quickly press on them so that you could see the calendar. You can send it out to your boss or other teachers as well. And basically you just click on the icon, it starts to load. You're just basically inviting them to see it. You're making an event, and I'm putting Google Slides, and notice that right here it has my attachment to Google Slides. It has this one that I am on. So I can just message teachers and just let them know, like, or the students. And right here where it says add guests, that's where you would invite others to take a look at your presentation, or it comes out in their Google Calendar as well. And then you just save it. And so this is great if you're going to go present somewhere and you just want to let people know ahead of time that this will be the presentation that we'll be doing. you're sharing it that way as well. Google Keep, I'm not going to go too much over it, but I'm going to go ahead and just let you know that they're little note cards, they're little task cards that you make on a different app that's a part of Google. And I have used it before, as I was saying, for research papers and letting them know, okay, you are going to be doing your biography on Helen Keller, and I start with the points that they need to use. And all you do, and even the websites and what it is that I'm looking for them. And so all you do is just drag these in to the presentation. I'm not going to do it because it'll mess my presentation up. And that becomes a part of Google Slides, and then the students can type over it, or they could just be reading what teacher is expecting from them on the right-hand side. So that does integrate pretty well. I like that feature. I've used it to outline research papers for the kids, and they just loved it. So now we'll move on to some of the formatting and some of word art, what we were talking about.
Yeah, so the word art, as Terry had mentioned earlier, it's very user-friendly. Most of these features you will find under the Insert tab, and you can see that she has a cursor over there. And so there's a lot of things under Insert where you can insert the image, the text box, audio, video. We'll go into the audio in a bit. But Insert Word Art, you would just click on Word Art there, and then you get that pop-up window. And there is where you type up the word or words or anything else. Usually it's just word or words, not necessarily sentences. And once you have it, as it's selected, then you notice when it's selected, you have an option where it says Format Options. Okay, well, what she's showing us right now is to change. If you want to change the font, the font would be on the regular menu bar right there. And so you can change the font to something that you like. There's the normal choices for fonts are there. So you can change the font, you can change the color, you can make it bold, italicized. Those regular features are all there. And then we move on to the format options. That's where you can kind of do what she did with the pink word art, where you can, if you need specific sizes, if you're creating something that needs to have a specific size, then you can go into the sizes, the size, or if you need to rotate it. Most of the time we do all these things manually. When it's selected, you notice the box that's around it. We do it, I'm used to doing it manually. But like I said, if you need specific sizes, then you pick that. I'm sorry, under the format options, the position. And if you notice, right there, she's playing with the different features in the rotation. If you need to rotate it, if you're going to mirror it or something like that. There's reflection. There's the drop shadow. And the drop shadow, if there's a check mark on it, that means you've selected it, and you can see the shadow there below it. And you can also change the color there of the shadow. So to change the color of the shadow is on this menu, which is the format options. And to change the color of the font of the word, that would be up there on the menu bar. Anything else in there? I think it's pretty much, and like I said, you just go down, you can go down the list of the available options to choose or create your word art. And if you want to animate the word art, then you would select your word and then go to Insert Animation. And then you get the different options. So you can have it fly in, you can have it zoom in, fade, different options. And what you could do is you can put them in order. I'm sorry. You can put, depending on what you pick, but you can also, if you have more than one word, you can put them in order. Which one goes in first, which one comes in afterwards. So that is animation. That's different than the when you do the whole slide. This is just for the word itself. And there she's looking at the different choices or selections that we have. And
correct. That's awesome. Yes, that's awesome. Yes, correct. And she was saying that, we click on here so that we can go ahead and get the animation of those words. But then there's the slides that you can also animate. That's a little bit different. And we'll talk about that in a minute also.
Yes, slides would be the transitions actually. And so the words are the animations.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, so formatting, just a little bit more, Arabella, you want to talk about formatting options? We just did, but you don't need to only do word art, but you can do what else?
The formatting options, if you noticed when we're earlier, when the image is selected, that's when you get that option. And it's also if you go into insert and then the format option. So there's different ways, as you all know, to get to these menus. But again, look at that, the A or the at, and you can specifically change the position there instead of just rotating it with the arrow and the cursor, and specific numbers if you need to enter some. There are times when we need to do some, like in our case where we're working on web pages, you know, and images have to be a specific size. This is perfect because we go in and we put in the numbers. You can change the colors on it. You can change the position. Is it on the left, on the right, on the center? You can also add the reflection. You can see there the drop shadow on it. So images also can be formatted, not just the words, which is what we're used to, the words. So all of this is really great, you know, especially when we have the little kids. We want to make it interesting. We want to make it so that they're able to see, especially since we're presenting, right? So they're able to see it on the screen, or even in the classroom when you project it, you know, it makes it easier and more inviting and more engaging for the kids.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. That's really, really nice that you can do images, you can do fonts, you could do the word art or icons that you might embed or other things. You can do it to, you can format as well. So the next thing we're going to talk about is embedding video, and it's also under the insert. As Arabella said, there's a lot of things under the insert. You would insert the text box there. You would insert your images through insert. And so right now we're going to talk about inserting a video and how that is done. And basically Google integrates with YouTube, so all your videos are going to be ad-free. And when you just go to insert video, again, it's going straight to YouTube, but you can also, I'm sorry about that. You can also go to by URL if in case there is a video that's not on YouTube that you want to use, or if you had a video that you want to get from your drive, as like if you made a screencasted by video, you can also upload those videos that way. And again, it starts off by just YouTube. And if you had the title to it, all you have to do is type the title and you can, you know, find it that way. But if you want to see through here what's on fractions, you can do this. But if you've had a bank or you know videos that are in your cares and you already know their titles, then you could be specific on the title, and you could put it on here, the actual title. You could just copy paste it and it will find it. Once you select the one that you want, you're going to press the select button at the bottom and you press select and it's going to come in. And then you may do a few things to it. You can, and it won't come in, like I said, with commercials, because that's the really neat thing about it. Since it's a part of YouTube, it's a part of Google, it will not play commercials. So I really like embedding videos into it. And so there are ways that you can also customize your start and end times. And I talk about it on the next slide. We move to this one. And basically, when you highlight the video or when you click on the video, you'll see over on the right-hand side where you can adjust the start and end time. And I just adjusted it right there to start at 3 minutes and end at 14 seconds exactly, because maybe that's the part that I really wanted the students to focus in on. And so you can do that, and you can format the options in there too. You can say it to play automatically when you're presenting. So you can check off and check that on. It's up to you if you want to do it at the click or at automatic portion of it. So it's pretty neat. Like I said, let me see if it lets me play it from here. But notice it is starting at exactly 3
minutes.
Root
is the part of the plant that grows out of the seed first. As the baby plant grows, the outer hard shell of the seed becomes soft and roots in.
So it stopped exactly where I needed it to stop, and you can go ahead and manipulate that. So that's pretty neat. Let's see here. What do we have next? Okay, so voice typing notes. And again, I'm staying on this part of the presentation and not presenting full screen because we want to be able to show you the features within. We want to be able to show you how to format and all of that. Okay, so voice typing, speaker notes. At this point, if you have a student who needs to, who can't really type too fast or has a hard time because of a disability, you can ask them to do the speaker notes, and they do start recording down over at the bottom, but they can always come in here and highlight it, copy it, and put it within the text box. And I find that very useful as well. And all I did was insert, and you're gonna find, I'm sorry, I think it's under tools. Yes, it's under tools. So in tools, you have a lot of other accessibility features, such as a dictionary. You can do just different things under tools. They're a little bit different than inserting. You can explore the web under tools. If I click on explore, and I don't have that inside my presentation, but just know you could do other things. If I was researching on, let's say, I did that. But under search right here, I could just start putting, I don't know, if I put Amazon or whatever, if it was someone I was searching for, Helen Keller. And so the Explorer is awesome because it lets me go through web pages over on the right-hand side that will appear about her. And so the student might be reading here, or he might want to use a few things from here, like when she was born. Okay, then where was she born? So the Explorer allows you to do that. It also allows you to get free, non-copyrighted, or, you know, they allow you to copy and use them from Google, these pictures. So it allows you to insert them if you wanted to use them. And I just press insert, and that's how I would put it inside my presentation. And so it's pretty cool to use some of the things that are under tools. But for now, and that one was under Explore, Tools, Explore. And for now, I'm just going to go back and teach you about the voice recording. So I'm just going to click on it. A little recorder comes out, and it comes out in the speaker notes, not within the presentation. But today we will be talking about Helen Keller. And then, you know, you just go on at this point, and it starts to record your voice. I don't know if it does it on this one, but I usually say period, and a period comes out. Let me see if it does it on this one. Period. Yes, it does. So that's, you want to train the students to say period after each sentence, and the Google products, Google Docs, and Google Slides will pick up that when he's done saying the sentence, it'll pick up that period. Okay, so I'm going to pause it there, and that means I'm done. And when the student actually close it. Okay, and then when this, oh, it's still going. That's weird. Okay. Let me see, let me click on something else. It usually stops. Okay, I guess I had to move on to another part of it so that it could stop doing the recording. Anyhow, as you speak, all the words come out at the bottom, and they can just copy paste them into the slides. So it's a good thing, not only for the presenter. The speaker notes are there. They were typically made for us as a presenter, and just so we can refer back to them. But the voice type speaker notes could be very useful for your students as well, especially those who have a hard time spelling and all of that. If you just put it in the speaker notes, they can come and copy paste. Any questions about what we've covered, guys? Okay, I think we do have a question.
There is a question in the chat box, sorry.
Okay. How can I insert images from the image bank in our Davis Arch electronic text book? Okay, so I'm not familiar with your book, but any kind of if it was on a site, let's say you just copy paste. This does allow us to. I mean, I would need the link to the book, but basically, if I'm just going to come to images in Google, and just FYI, you don't want to just copy every image because some may be copyrighted. So I'm just going to link Keller really quick. And all you do is right click, copy, and paste it, and it will come out. Make sure to use your shortcuts. It helps a lot when you use your shortcuts because sometimes it doesn't allow you to right click paste. So a good rule of thumb is to use shortcuts, and it would be Control V for you all, Control C to copy. If the web page or your book doesn't allow you to do that, then what you want to do is right click, save image as, and that kind of just takes it a little step further. And you'll see right here that it is JPEG, and that's image format. And then you would just name it and find it on your folder or your desktop, and that is how you would do it for the art book.
And if it doesn't let you save it, maybe a screenshot of it would do.
That's true. We could do that. So she's talking about a screenshot. We don't have the same as you guys, but you all will use a tool called the snipping tool, and you can find it in your search bar, and it looks like a little scissors. And basically, it comes out with where you can hover over the area that you want to get a screenshot for. So yes, that's a different way to go ahead and get in your images. Thank you, Arabella. That's awesome. Yes.
Yep.
Everybody on that? Any other questions? You're welcome. Okay. Arabella, taking it back to you. We're going with audio.
Yes, and moving on. And the reason audio is because we did the video and the audio, and you say, well, I mean, I could figure that out, but it wasn't until recently, well, not recently, a few months ago, back in November of 2019, that Google made an update. I believe it was difficult before then to insert audio, so now it's part of the menu, and it's very simple. So all you have to do is go to Insert Audio. So now the only difference is here that you're inserting audio that has already been created. It's something that you already have on your drive. You're not going to create it from scratch. And keep in mind that your audios need to be in the MP3 or the .wav, the WAV file type formats. So if you go to Insert Audio, and then what it'll do is right here, you see it automatically takes you to Shared One, to anything that's audio. Any files that you have that are audio, here it's she has it on Shared With Me, but if it'll take you to My Drive, and if you have any audio recordings in there, that's why it's very important to, once you have your audio, to save it into your drive, because it's not going to let you record anything from scratch. It's going to pick up something that you already have. So you would select something, and she already inserted the very first one. I think we took it. Well, it's in the next one, maybe. It's right there. So the first one, that little teal colored one, is something that we picked up that was already there on our computer. And then you see that we changed the color on it. And again, that famous format options box, if the icon is selected, you can resize it. You can change the color, and then you can decide, do you want it to play automatically as soon as the slide comes on, or do you click on it so that it can play? Do you want to loop it to continuously, you want it playing in the background while you're doing the whole presentation? You could just lower the volume. So you have many, many options in there, specific sizes and positions that you can choose for your little audio button. Let me see. Awesome. I think everything, yes. And like I said, if you start using all these format options, depending on what you're doing, whether it's a video, an audio, word art, the features vary slightly, but pretty much they all look the same. And so that one that she has there that she colored in yellow is one that she picked up from one of our DLSs.
Jane was curious about other animals too.
So this is really cool because if you're doing something like a trailer, sorry.
Go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
He's reading a book, so you can put the image of the book cover, and then you can add the audio to it, and then the kids can just click on the play button, and they can listen to it. You can give instructions to an assignment, put the audio on it. So again, this is inserting the audio. And in the next slide, I have a few sites or extensions if you want to create your audio from scratch. So online voice recorder, that Audacity has been around for a while. I have not used that one. That's it's available. There's an extension for it, and it's available online. So those links will either take you, if it's an online, it'll take you to the website, or if it's an extension, it'll take you to the Chrome Web Store, and that's where you can find it and install it. And if you do install an extension, it'll be found at the top next to the URL to the right. All those little icons that Terry has on her computer, those are different extensions that we have, that she has installed in her computer, that really enhance the way a program works. So, and if you install something and you find that you don't need it, you can always remove it. So you don't have to worry that, oh my gosh, I have so many, I don't know what to do with them. No, you can just go into the settings of the Google toolbar and you can remove it. So you could play with those at Anchor FM, also another one. It's an online, and it's very user friendly. You record your voice and then you save it, and then it lets you download it. And again, remember to save it as a .mp3 and a .wav file type. So this is for the audio or narration in a slide.
Awesome information. And again, she also put like a little how-to video. Take a look at them, whatever you feel. These should be some easy, intuitive sites that you can use. But start with one and get comfortable with one so you can get that online voice recorder going. You can do storybooks, as she said, and narrate them for the students. We did a few for summer school, and like she said, there was a DLS voice that you heard, and she was just doing a voiceover, and she added into the slides the stories, the read aloud stories, and then she made them read aloud on Google Slides. So more extensions and more online things that you can use. Inserting a GIF may make your presentation, interesting or eye-catching. And so those, this one, the first one is a GIF. And again, it's an extension. Let me see if I can find it here because, oh, I don't have it available. But the GIFs, this one is called, let me see, Jiffy. When I open it, it's called Jiffy for Chrome. Let me see if it'll appear right now. If not, I should have it installed. I do have it installed, but for some reason, it's not populating at this moment. Let me go into my settings to find it. So right here, now that I'm in my settings and I come over to my left-hand side, I go to extensions and I have a list of extensions. If I don't want to use one because I didn't find it useful, I would just remove it. If I want to hide it because so notice when I pressed hide, it populated over on the right-hand side, the one I'm looking for. And basically because it only allows so many to come out in the bar, but I'm just hiding it. Doesn't mean I removed it. I can always come back and toggle, turn it back on. The good thing about hiding it is that you may want to hide them because it slows down your computer when you have way too many of them. Or remove them if you don't find some that, like if you find, no, this is just not working out for me, go ahead and press the remove because it does slow down your computer. But hiding them, like I said, toggling on them will also help the speed of your computer. So let me come back over here to this extension, the Jiffy one. I'm going to launch it. It does take a little bit because it's animations and its pixelation to graphics do take a while to come in. But once it launches, you can search for what you want to come out on your presentation. So it also makes it pretty cool and fancy and eye-catching for your kiddos. To put in either an arrow that is animated, and you just type arrow. I just search for it. It should populate a few things that make things eye-catching. So you can do it with the Giphy, or you can go to Google as well. And when you're in Google, I'm just going to go ahead and put pencil animated clip art or animated GIF. These are all called GIFs. And notice anytime I'm looking for an image, it'll say it's a cartoon, it's transparent, writing. The one that you really want to focus on is that it says GIF animation. Otherwise, it won't really be a GIF. So I know that they are because it says right there GIF. And I'm just going to right click on it. And as we showed you all earlier, you want to use the right click, save as image, not the copy because it won't really do it. You really need to download the file when it's a GIF. And you would right click, save image as, and then locate it on your, it's a pencil, a Giphy pencil. And I'm going to save it. And then you can come back inside your Google Slides, go to insert image and upload it from your computer. And it should be that one right there. And then you can insert your GIFs that way. And you could resize them to make them fit to the slide. So, great way again to insert pictures. You can also insert from the web right here. If I searched there, I can, and it allows me to get there. I can get images from my computer if I have them there. I can also come in and get images from my Drive or Photos app that I may have, or maybe even a URL, or at the time take a picture with your camera. You can do that as well. So there's more options under Insert Images that you might want to take a look at. Okay, so the next one. Any questions, guys? Okay, I think we're good. But if you have any questions, please stop us and we can review some things. We don't mind that. I hope what we're showing you all is useful to you guys, and just at one point maybe it will be. But we have taken screenshots so that you can kind of go back and follow the steps as best as possible as well. But we don't mind you guys calling us or sending us an email. How is it that this worked? We can meet with you and do those kinds of things. So the next thing I want to talk about is emoji bullets. These emoji, the bullets can be embedded within Google Slides, or you can use an extension. But I'm going to use the ones that are embedded within the Google Slides for now. So basically what you do is when you have the words that you're going to list, you're just going to highlight them, come all the way to the top, come to Format, and you're going to go to Format Bullets, and then you will get a section that says List Options. And the list options will not appear unless you have highlighted what you want to bullet, okay? So once you do that, you go to More Bullets, and then it allows you to get like a search area. And if I wanted to draw it, I could draw it. And I was trying to draw a heart. And so, yes, that's the one I want. And let me see here. I'm going to close it. That should have changed my bullets into the hearts. So again, I came to Format, and I must come back over here and highlight it, okay? I have to highlight my, my items that I want to bullet, Format, bullet and numbering list options, more bullets, and then I can just draw what it is that I want, and it should be able to locate the emoji. So emoji bullets are also a fun way to list items. I'll show you how you can use other emoji extensions where you want to make them different and not just the same bullet. But before we do that, let me go on to the next thing, which is formatting your slide and doing themes and transitions. And remember, we talked about how you can import previously used slide themes. And basically, if I had a blank one and I just want to go back and search for an item that I've used before, I can either get the templates that are here, or I can come to import theme. And if I really like the presentation that I had prior to that, it will bring in the theme from it. And so it's right now looking for all the presentations that I have. And maybe, maybe I want to use this theme right here, or so I'm going to look for one that's not something we created from scratch, but is a theme. I believe the bulletin board one is a theme. So if I click on that, I import it, and it's going to change all of them to that presentation board theme that it has. It takes a little bit because each slide has a different format of it, and it will change it as well. I should actually cancel it because I don't want to change my theme, but just so that you know, you can click on it and bring in that theme, and it will modify all your slides to be that theme. So you could do it that way. You can grab some that are embedded within Google Slides, or again, you can go to Slidesmania and the other place that we talked about, Slides Carnival. You can go ahead and get your themes and slide templates from there. Other things that are within the formatting of the background or of the actual slide. Let me click on the actual slide. Other things that are within there is this little table that's right here. So I made a screenshot of it. You can insert text, insert images, insert shapes, insert lines, insert a comment would be like when you're working collaboratively with people and you want to let them know, hi, Arabella, will you take care of this slide? Or, you know, I can do that. PC, whatever, I can do that with the comment. And then she can respond to me because she'll see it within the slide. I can also be a little bit more direct, and she'll see it with an email if I were to put the plus and I put the person's name. And then I say a message, it will directly head it on to her email. But the other way around, I would press comment and it would post. But the other way around that I first showed you, you see how Arabella responded to me, is when she comes into the Google Slides herself and she sees the comment. So you could do it two ways. I know she's going to be visiting it. I could just comment right there in this box, and she'll see it. Or I can go ahead and comment again and locate her, and she will receive an email this way. If I put the plus and then send the message, and she, this is how she'll get a notification of it, okay? The next item that you see here is the background. Background allows you to set an image as your background or a color to the background. So in this presentation, we didn't use a theme because we were starting it from scratch. And so what we did instead, we used color. So you can always do that and change out the color. If you wanted to do something else, let me see. I think we had a lavender. Let's not make it so loud. Let's keep it with the lavender. If you wanted to choose an image, and this is how we did our Bitmoji stuff, our theme for the background. I chose an image. I go to the Google search, and for this one, it was a campsite. So we just searched for that image and then brought in whatever I wanted and then put our Bitmojis within there. I could have brought in this one that's over on the right-hand side. You know what? Let me get it from a blank. Let me start on a blank one. I know that someone asked about emoji. So let me start blank. And when you do blank, you want to go ahead and take off like the layout to be blank completely, and then you could insert your text box. But I like to remove the text boxes and make them blank so I can put them where I want and they're not in my way. And background, and again, I would choose the image. Maybe it's this one that I want to insert. And what happens with background, it becomes like a still picture that's not movable. The students cannot go in there and manipulate that picture, or you can't manipulate that picture once you put it. But from there, I can start building my Bitmoji or my campsite with my Bitmoji. I just start copy pasting and putting out different things. I also come and insert more images that are in the web, and I need to make them transparent where, let's say, fire clip art. Actually, then you start with the word transparent. Transparent, that means it has no background. Transparent background. Fire clip art. Okay, and it'll search all the web, and then I can just press insert, and it will insert it there, and I can resize it. In the beginning of our, we had a little fire going, but we used one from the Jiffy because we wanted it to be animated. So you could use your extension at that point also and animate your images if it allows you to get transparent ones. So basically, all I did was use the insert image. I searched on the web to get the items that I wanted. We do have at the very end a bank of items that you are welcome to grab and get started with your Bitmoji backgrounds, your Bitmoji classrooms, and take care of that. So let me read this question. It says, yes, I tried drawing it, but no emoji appeared. I added the emoji extension. Don't know if that's why they appeared. Possibly, yes, you do want to have your emoji extension. You do want to have your Bitmoji one. I mean, you do. Sometimes they're very helpful. Like the one for the keyboard one, I like to use this one a lot. And I'm just going to copy it, and then I come to my site and I paste it, and it's like a font. I can make it larger with the font size right here in the middle. If you notice, I'm making it bigger. It's a little blurry, but it looks good. It looks good once I stop. So yes, that is how you make your backgrounds. And so I use this background layout, like I said, to kind of snap it into place. All the other items will not be snapped into place. But the background is very useful because when you click on your slide and you select a background, we'll talk about it later, I can bring in my PDF as an image. But I'll go ahead and showcase that in a few minutes. And again, we're going to see the theme. We're going to see that we can transition, do an animation on the slide. And when I play it, it allows me to animate that slide. I think I might need to be on preset mode. No, it's allowing me to animate it there. So you can test it out, whatever animation that you want, or you can animate an object if you wanted to. I'm going to click on the object this time, and I'm going to add an animation to that little item. Every time I click on the object, it allows me to start doing something with that object. And you could see that the little happy face is there. So I'm going to ask it to fade in, or I can fly from bottom or press appear, play. And so the play would allow me to see what it was on that object. So I did a transition within the slide, and then in a little bit, the object should come out under appear. It may have, oh, I have it where it's on click. So until I press click, the object appears. So you see how it says on click, and you can change it to be automatic as well, or with previous, as you know, if you wanted to flow with the previous object coming in, you can do that as well. So that's a little bit about transitions and how to use your theme and how to format the actual slide. So we covered that in a few of those items. And again, that was on slide 18. That talks about all these things that you could do with that. Okay, transitioning on to sparking up topics with emojis and fonts. You can do that with extensions, with URLs that we've listed. Here you can do a whole bunch of stuff like that. And again, earlier I had installed this extension called Emoji Keyboard Pixel. And if you click right here, you can find the extension and install it yourself. But there's also websites, like I said, that you can use. To me, I find the extensions a little bit easier because it takes me longer to get to the website. And this Joy Pixel, for me, it works out really good. I just copy the image I want, or I search for an image I might want. I search books. It gives me all the books that it has, and I can begin to copy them. And once it just copies them automatically. And then once I'm on the slide, I Control V for paste, and they will populate. And again, you want to make them large because they're just like a text box where you can make the font larger and use the font size to do that. And so I can move it wherever I want, place it wherever I want, and it'll be good. All right, I'm gonna erase it for now because it's kind of in the way. Okay, so another one that you can use, I like this. I discovered this one over the weekend, and I was like all excited. I told Arabella. There are also ways that you can, your text itself, you can make them fancy, and there's text generators out there, and the first two are text generators. And the other one is the one that made the font that said awesome. So it's a website. It's not really an extension. And basically, it makes like little logos for you. And you just type the word, and it'll make a bowling pin logo or whatever kind of logo that you want. You select the logo that you want. I'm just going to click on that one. And I'm going to write the word awesome. And when I press enter, it makes the word awesome. And again, you could right-click copy or right-click save image. Or it actually on the website also has whether you want to download in different sizes. But it has really cool logos. I really had a fun time seeing these different logos. It was just fun. So I'm sure your students will enjoy that as well. And it just makes your slides a lot more funner and interesting. And so it's going to change it to the word awesome. And I can, again, right-click, save it as an image. And I could just write that it was awesome clip art. And that way I can insert it into, insert my image from the computer. And it's this one right here. And then like anything else, you could resize it and so forth. The other two, Fancy Text Generator, you've seen these before. We had these on our Tech Talk tips if in case you were there or you were a part of spicing up your Google Classroom. We also showcased a font generator. And basically up at the top, you input the text. And I'm just going to put Ms. Guerrero's Google Classroom. And notice it is generating a whole bunch of text, and I could decide, okay, I want to copy this one over. I copy it, I come in here, and I can insert another text box. I should do it on a blank one, but I'll just put it right here. And copy paste, and there is my fancy text. Okay, awesome. Great. Okay, so moving on, other than extensions and other things that you can do, there are slide add-ons, okay? So docs and other products of Google, like surveys and other things, they have add-ons that they visit also the Gmarket suite where you get your extensions, but these are just particularly to the product. So these are just particularly to slides. And so I listed a few of them, and all you have to do is just go to add-ons and press get add-ons, and you can search for any kind of add-on. Can a slide do this? Can slides translate? Can slides do accents? Notice this one. It's an accent. And I didn't list it as one. I didn't list a whole bunch of them. I just listed a few that you might find very useful. And yes, slides can be translated by using this. And so anytime you are gonna use an add-on, just like an extension, what you wanna do is launch them. Once you have installed them, you're gonna say, okay, let's say, for example, this Magic Unicorn. I want to use it on the entire wording. So Magic Unicorn is a slide add-on that rainbows out your text. And the way it can actually come out is by when I go to add-ons, then I locate the actual add-on name and I press start. You have to launch the add-on. And once you do, it might take a little bit of some time. And then over on the right-hand side, you can change kind of the color scheme. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put start the rainbow magic, and it changes my font. And so this is what this add-on does. Much like an extension, but the add-on is within Slides itself because it's particularly just for Google Slides. Another one I like using is insert icons for slides. It just kind of makes it nice when you're building infographics. So I'm just gonna open up the add-on itself and see what kind of icons it has. So kind of makes it, I like them. If I wanted to, I'm gonna be talking about camping, then I can search for the name right there where it says icon name, and then it takes a little bit, but they will come out and populate. And you can change the color to another color if you want. And so that is what some of these add-ons do. They may take a while before they actually come out, but they eventually do. Again, running a lot of things maybe. And you can look for Christmas tree. I think you have to select the color before you actually change the color. But no problem with that because Arabella taught us also how to modify color of an icon. And all you have to do is come to format option and recolor that. So pretty neat thing that you can do as well.
Very cool.
Okay, so I'm going to delete that and take off this one too. So that was insert icons for slides. Unsplash, I won't showcase it, but basically Unsplash are images, a bank of images that are free, and they are, I believe most of them are photos with really neat, really good pixelation, really nice landscape photos. Shutterstock is another one that you can use. And again, it's an add-on. You just notice right there when you click on them or find them, you just press Slides add-on, and it allows you to search and crop and add those images or backgrounds to it. This one right here, when you launch it, it allows you to kind of modify the color scheme of your slides. So notice how it's just starting to modify it. You can change the tone and things, or the color lines if you want, to whatever is your favorite. So I'm just gonna close that. And so we just listed a few. There are a lot more depending on what you want to do. You can go ahead and search for something and it will more than likely have it because Google is pretty amazing. I'm just so glad we're already using Google and things like that. So Next one, it's going to be how do I make the slides interactive? And we actually put like a little video tutorial there for those of you that might want to go back. So you get your packet from your deans, and now you want to go ahead and just kind of make that layout or that PDF interactive with your kids on Google Slides. All right, so I'm going to show you what to do. I'm just going to add a plus right here. And you may want to set up your page to be set up as a custom size in a portrait style. So you would change it for, let me open up another slide because if not, it's going to mess up my, let me open up another one. So I'm going to go to slides. I'm going to grab a blank one. I don't really want to mess up the presentation one. And then I would go to File, Page Setup. And again, we said that the page setup would be great for making posters. You can make them wide. You can make them a custom dimension if you want. In this case, I'm going to say 8.5 by 11 because it's the size of a handout. Apply, and that changes it. Remember, we talked about clearing out the text boxes. I just right-click on there. I apply the layout to be a blank one. And so it's this one right here. And that's it, it's gone. Now I'm going to choose a background. But before I do that, I need to go and get my packet. So let me just go to my drive and I would download it. And this might take a little long to do, but I'm just going to, for now, find something that's in my drive. But you would search your CARES document or whatever it is that they sent you, and you would download it. Once you download it, let's see here. Let me find, this one has science review cards. So that might be a good one, but let me look for something more interactive. Let me look for this one right here. So this kindergarten counting, I can download it. And once you have downloaded, you're gonna, sorry, I clicked on it twice. Once you have downloaded, and I have been playing with this one before, so excuse this part of it. But once you find what you wanted, you wanna bring in your snipping tool again and go ahead and select the entire thing. In this case, I didn't select the entire thing, but you can make it smaller. And again, I've been playing with Cami on it, teaching somebody how to insert a signature. So please pardon that part right there that you're seeing and the filling out. You just kind of minimize the size of it by going into the settings over here. Over on the settings, you'll find it right there. I just minimized it. Okay, so I'm going to Google Slides. I'm going to this one right here, and I'm going to insert it. I'm sorry, I actually want it to be a background because I don't want that PDF to be moving around. So I'm just going to go to background, and I'm going to choose an image, and that image is on my desktop. So I'm browsing for it, and it was a screenshot I took. And now it's going to upload it. And there is how you bring in the work from your deans. You may want to use a text box, especially when you have like something very long for them to type up. And I would type text here. That way they know that that's where they're going to be typing. Oops, sorry, I misspelled that. And another good practice is to make it in color. So I'm going to, so it could stand out for them. And so there it is. And then I'm going to move the text box wherever it is on the line or wherever it is that I need them to type up. So there it is. There's a Google Slides with an activity, kinder counting, and you can share that inside of your Google Classroom or inside of your Seesaw. Remember, when you're sharing a document, you want to have that rights listed to where it's editable. So I'm going to go over that really quick right now. share. You go to advanced, and you want to change it from private to either, you could put on public without a sign-in, but if I want to restrict it just to my students that have a Laredo ISD account, I can select the third one. So the third one says anyone with a Laredo ISD account. And then you, very importantly, want to change it to can edit, because this PDF itself, I want it to be editable. So now I have a link that I can copy on over either to a site or to my Google Classroom, or within my Google Classroom, I just insert the assignment and I go to my Drive and it's gonna find this PDF. Any questions on that one? How are we doing, Arabella?
We've got just a few minutes left. We got about 7 minutes before 10 a.m.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll try to go.
Yep.
But these are actually just there for you guys to go in there and see what is useful for you guys. We've got already made stuff for you. We've got choice boards that you can go and modify and download. We've got infographics. This first one right here is an infographic for reading. And so you can use any one of these inside your Google Classroom. You can pick and choose for prediction, for character changes, for the who, what, where, why, and for summarizing. There's a whole bunch of reading material here for you guys. And you can even make a comic strip. If you wanted your students to do something fun and make a comic strip out of their Bitmojis, they can do that. They can make a timeline, and all you have to do is come in here, and on yours, we may have set it up as view only. You can always come and go file, make a copy, and it makes a copy and it brings it into your Drive without modifying mine, so, or anyone else's. So that's a good practice always, to go to file, make a copy as well. And once you have it in your Drive, you can pick and choose what you want. I'm going to choose a timeline. I'm going to go to an empty one, an empty Google slide. Not that one, because that one has the wrong size of the layout that I want. I'm just going to get a blank one. And again, I would just copy paste it in there. And I can add a slide or just remove. Remember to remove those text boxes. And then kind of start again, right click paste, start again where you want them. Do not link is fine, where you want them to type. So again, I would do this, and then I would type the word text here. So, you know, the older ones, they may be okay. They may be okay. You might not have to do it. You might just want to teach them how to insert that text box. But for the little ones, they kind of need that. Okay, so moving on, that was the infographics. Choice boards are super cool with Google Slides. You can read this article. She actually has templates as well. And then I inserted one that I made. And basically, it's just a choice where the idea behind it is that you give different learning opportunities to the student when they are looking at a choice board. And then you give them the instructions to just choose 3 to, it says right here, write a diary. It says create character trait cards. Sometimes they are actions that they have to do, and sometimes they're just like learning boards. Like they're just maybe websites or a Nearpod. Let me show you one that I created, this simple format. This one just had a choice board of a video, a Nearpod, a website. They also study from their Quizlet, a vocabulary for that content. And this whole content or concept was on digital citizenship, and they were told to choose 3 activities. It's a choice board, choose 3 activities, and the learning outcome is based at the very bottom, where they may have to recreate something for me, or go ahead and quiz them at that time, or make them fill out a PDF. It's up to you. HyperDocs girls, super awesome activities. Oops, I guess I linked it wrong. But there's a lot of interactive slides that they can go in there and also learn from that have hyperlinks. I'll go ahead and relink it. I know you have to create an account. They may have modified some of their website. Maybe that's why it's not picking up. but I'll get it linked back. Other Google Slides and ways that you can use them for interactive games. We've got Eric Curtis has awesome ideas as well. If you want to visit him, there's just templates in here, interactive stories. There's things that you can just download those Jeopardy games for yourself and interact with. And then this one's pretty cool too. 30 ways that you can use Google Slides to make the classroom exciting and interesting. His name is Matt Miller, Ditch That Textbooks. And he's got a board of ideas right here of what you can do with Google Slides. You can create a PDF ebook and so forth. You can play a Jeopardy game. And he kind of has like a how-to. We also listed some resources and templates that he has. And all you have to do is go scroll down the template list and find maybe more infographics you want to use. And when you click on them, it makes a copy of them to your drive. So I clicked on it. I say, yes, I want to get them from my Google Drive. And it's gonna bring them in. The next one, we found this virtual field trips. You can do virtual field trips with your Bitmoji. And this girl, she ended up putting out a whole bunch of trips for you guys that you can see for around the world. Disney roller coasters. This was another one we had showcased and had a lot of fun with during our Tech Talk. So go back and visit that one. We're running out of time to view them. But you've got your Bitmoji classrooms that you might want to also do, and we have a whole bunch of lists of decor. You don't have to go out searching. You can just copy paste from ours, open up a new slide, and just get the banners or the decor that you might want to use. And again, I showed you all how to make the background just by clicking on background and searching for that transparent image or searching for that image that you want to start off with, like we did with camping and so forth. But if you go down the list, you have a whole bunch of things that you can copy from us. And what we have seen before also that they're doing is that within the book, they're hyperlinking a read out loud story, or you can have hyperlink your own voice recording or a screencastify. And so teachers are doing that. They sometimes write the objective on there, and then within there they put a little bit of teaching so they can make their Google Slides very interactive. So we are done. We've shared some amazing ideas and amazing things that can just help out your Google Classrooms, just help you out as a presenter a little bit more. I hope you've enjoyed today's activities and our presentation. And if you have any questions, feel free to call us.
Thank you all for joining us. Our next session starts at 10:30, but it's a repeat of this. But if you go to the other ones, there's plenty to choose from for now. Thank you for joining us. I don't know if there's any questions.
These are other examples, guys, of agendas and ways that you can use Google Slides. And again, you're welcome to copy paste them and move them onto your own blank slide. And you did not get the check-in number. See if it lets you check in. I think it's at the very top, or Arabella will go ahead and place the check-in number again. And oh, thank you, Ms. Garza. Thank you so much. And as Arabella was mentioning, we have more topics that we're covering today and tomorrow. Camping out with Google Docs and Drive, climbing the mountains with Google Forms and Sheets, and fundamentals of Google Chromebooks. You might want to, you might want to look them up on our staff development and check out those. We're having training all day today and tomorrow, so for our lovely teachers. And thank you all for being so awesome and doing all you do for our students. And we're just here and excited to help you guys. All right, Arabella, let's take a break. We'll see everybody back, or we'll see you guys soon. Don't hesitate to